Shifting focus to another global exclusive, viewers. Former Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has underlined Bharat's indispensable role in ensuring that her country does not slip into a Pakistan-style hybrid regime, warning that Dhaka risks political instability under the leadership of Mohammad Yunus. And speaking exclusively to CNN News 18's Security Affairs editor Manoj Kumar Gupta in a written interview, a text interview, Sheikh Hasina described Bharat as Bangladesh's steadfast friend and a key partner in preserving democratic stability in the region. She urged Bharat to back ordinary Bangladeshi civilians, individuals in their desire to choose their own government, adding that Bharat's continued engagement would be crucial to prevent Bangladesh from sliding into a Pakistan-style hybrid regime. She stressed that Bharat has long been Dhaka's closest ally, and its priority remains a stable democratic regime in Bangladesh. In her remarks, Sheikh Hasina also acknowledged Bharat's diplomatic backing since her ouster, praising New Delhi for calling for inclusive elections and highlighting minority persecution under the new government. She made it clear that the Awami League, her political base, remains deeply entrenched in Bangladesh society. The Awami League does not need rebuilding within Bangladesh while it commands the support of tens of millions of ordinary Bangladeshi, is what she said. The ties that bind our countries run very deep, and this will not change. She also very openly cautioned that Bangladesh could face a future dominated by extremist influences if democratic norms are not restored. She accused Mohammad Yunus of acting as a cardboard cutout leader of a regime actually run by the Hizb ut-Tahrir extremists, and appealed to Bharat and other regional partners to continue pressing for free and fair elections. The only way to restore good health to Bangladesh's political system, she said, is by enabling a government to be elected and genuinely rule by the consent of the people. Sheikh Hasina reiterated Bharat's support for Bangladesh's democratic aspirations is not merely a matter of bilateral friendship, but a regional imperative. Our friends in Bharat must persist in their calls for democracy and inclusivity, she said. That is the best way to future-proof our country against regime degradation and ensure peace in South Asia. What does this imply? How circumspect is now Sheikh Hasina getting? And this is around the time that the Awami League has just started getting active on ground in Bangladesh. There have been protests mounted against Mohammad Yunus. Awami League currently stands banned in Bangladesh, viewers, and there are certain decisions that are being taken which could be telling in terms of for democracy to flourish in Bangladesh if they are allowed to do so. Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey, security analyst, is with us. Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, former diplomat, with us. Saddam Hussain, President, Bangladesh Students League, is with us. My namaste to everybody. Thank you very, very much. Saddam Hussain, your thoughts on what the former Prime Minister has said in this interview with News 18.
Thank you. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina already mentioned the historic relationship between Bangladesh and India. We, from the liberation war to our democratic transition, economic cooperation, and the mutual relationship between Bangladesh and India under early leadership. It is a very exemplary one because it helps the Bangladeshi people for their economic emancipation, for political stability in Bangladesh. It helps in our development, for our economic growth, for making our people out of poverty. So Sheikh Hasina rightly pointed out that, and right now Bangladesh is having a great risk. There is no legal authority actually right now in Bangladesh. Those who are representing Bangladesh, those who are ruling Bangladesh, they do not have any legal mandate, constitutional mandate. And today, Awami League declared a dawn to dusk Dhaka lockdown program. And, the streets are really quiet today in Bangladesh. People responded in the program. They supported the program. They stayed indoor in Bangladesh. All the offices, schools, most of them are closed today in support of the program by Bangladesh Awami League. Bangladesh Awami League demanded restoring democracy for having a inclusive election, and also, that stopping the judicial fights ongoing against Sheikh Hasina. And Dhaka today, I think, sending a powerful message that the people of Bangladesh will not tolerate hypocrisy, will not tolerate fascist behavior, will not tolerate this government for so many times. And Awami League mentioned that this movement will continue until the removal of the government. So I think Awami League is on the ground, and people are supporting them. And day by day, it is restoring its strength in the street. And Awami League, without Awami League, it is not possible to held the election, and people will never support this. I think Awami League is going to lead the upcoming movement in a successful way.
But Lieutenant General D.P. Pandey and Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, first up, diplomatically, is there a message that Sheikh Hasina is sending with her answers? They were very carefully crafted. We'll get into the army and the coup part in a bit. But when she talks about the fact where she highlights Muhammad Yunus, that he is a front of the radicals. She doesn't name BMP, she doesn't name Jamiat, she names the Hizbut Tahrir, Ambassador Rajiv Dogra. She does not decry or call down China or the US administrations, nor does she say that she believes any of the foreign powers were directly involved. Is this a little more, her getting a little more circumspect? Your thoughts, Ambassador Saab?
Well, I think having seen the interview, I would say that it is restrained, mature, but forceful, because it is as a democratic leader should be doing. And as you said very correctly, she has not attacked any of the political parties, but singled out the radical party or radical organization for a message. And talking of message, I think this interview was well timed because it will be also seen and heard by her cadres and by right-thinking people in Bangladesh. So that is good for their morale and for their spirits, because if they are coming out on the streets, that means that frustration is increasing.
Frustration is increasing, but
so
this is...
While that is...
Ji, please complete.
While that is a positive sign, that is encouraging sign, but the fact is that it's a tough road ahead to February elections, because the elections will be conducted under the supervision of an illegal regime imposed on the people of Bangladesh. And the closest advisors to this regime, led by Yunus, are the negatives of Pakistan. Because if you look back, ever since this regime came into power, the only important visitors from Pakistan have been the types of ISI, military generals and so on, who are not going to do any good for the democratic system in Bangladesh, because they have not done any good in their own country. The other close friend of this regime is China, which again is not a democrat. So I don't see a silver lining in a very dark cloud leading up to February elections.
So why do you say that? Why do you say that you don't see a silver lining? Don't you think nations can actually pressure the Yunus government to lift the ban on Awami League? Can there not be that much of pressure, especially if there is a groundswell? If what Saddam Hussein is saying, that the Awami League's call in Dhaka was met with a certain level of success, you think this groundswell won't increase? And perhaps the army could come there to facilitate? Waqar-uz-Zaman is also still there in charge.
Well, that might be so, but within the army, there is a large section who are not exactly loyal to the army chief.
Ji.
And we've seen any number of reports about that. The second thing is that, yes, civilians, when they come out, and when they come out in frustration or rage, it certainly has an effect. But whether their protest will last, whether they'll have the patience to go through the the rigors of a protest, that is open to doubt. But I must say, Awami League has a strong cadre, and there's a strong sentiment among the right-thinking Bangladeshis that what is happening in their country is not quite right.
Before I bring in General Pandey, just getting you another dynamic out of these 10 questions. While speaking with CNN News 18's Manoj Gupta in this global exclusive, former Bangladesh Prime Minister says that at the time leaving was a matter of survival. I did not want to leave Bangladesh, but it was made clear to me that remaining would not only have put my life in danger, but also the lives of those around me. The military was faced with an impossible situation, defending a constitutional government against overwhelming mob violence while avoiding any further loss of life. It was only after the events of August 5 that I started to discern the premeditated nature of this coup. The speed with which Yunus seized power, the immediate immunity granted to perpetrators, and the dissolution of our judicial inquiry are all acts that indicate a preconceived strategy. Yunus, it seems, had been preparing to seize power, or those who installed him had. It is no secret that Yunus was popular at California salons owing to his former work as an economist. But he is not a symbol of democratic regime change, nor does he command any broad support. He is an unelected figure who is now seeking to bar from the election a party that is supported by millions and which has been elected 9 times in the past, including the last time Bangladeshis were able to go to the ballot box. If Westerners think Yunus is a friendly face, they are being fooled. In fact, he is being used as the frontman by extremists in his administration who are pursuing a sectarian, score-settling and socially regressive domestic agenda. General Pandey.
Yeah, so Anand, firstly, if Westerners don't know that Yunus is being used, I think we'll be quite incorrect in our appreciation, because they exactly know what they are doing, right? How they have been used, and this is the system of regime change the people have gone about, these countries have gone about in various, this thing create disturbances, get a turmoil done. It looks as if it is inorganic, but everything is organized, arranged. And as you just very rightly pointed out, the change, the way it happened, and Madam Hasina has just said, it was Yunus was well prepared to take on, and everything just fell into place, right? I just want to just go back a little bit. I think the evil eyes on Bangladesh finally won over. And if you recall, just about a year back, everybody was comparing Bangladesh with Pakistan, two nations, how they have evolved, how progressive Bangladesh is, economic progress, well-being, people are happier, everything was there. And suddenly something happened, because possibly she did not agree to what was required by a particular regime for whichever purpose, and we all know exactly what is. And therefore this issue which is being felt today, and the question which starts, that India needs to ensure that a progressive democracy is in place. But I must just tell you one thing. A stable Bangladesh is not good only for India, right? It is good for Bangladeshis. And if you see, every time when a stable, positive government has come, Bangladesh has progressed. And every time when there is a dictatorial regime, or a regime which was akin to what was there in Pakistan has come, Bangladesh has slid into anarchy. And not only anarchy, the number of radical extremist elements which have got power, they have been propped up in that area. And frankly, Bangladesh, the way it is positioned, there is just no way till the time they have a good relationship with India, their future is secure. So can India manage a secure with a radical nation? And you're seeing very well that on the west we got one, and secondly, when you have Yunus-led government which is actually controlled by radicals for whatever reasons, it is not good even for India. So I think a stable Bangladesh, a progressive Bangladesh, a democratic Bangladesh is very, very important for Bangladeshis, for the region, and of course for surely for India. And we really hope that the elections, and there is a doubt about elections, these manufacturing of events will, as we progress towards elections, you will find reasons to be created that election should not happen. Right? And therefore all these street protests, things which are happening, we have to also see that vision. We just can't start believing that it is only because these protests are on, so that the feelings of population is being seen on the ground, and Awami League is actually getting power on the street back.
Right.
Because the leadership of Awami League is actually being butchered and cut off, right?
Yeah.
They've been so there is hardly any leadership actually to lead. So whatever will happen will truly happen as a youth agitation, because eventually they will find that this radical government, there's a pressure, economic pressure which is there. They are cut off from the world. After all, America cannot fund. ISI cannot give them money, jobs, and they can't take their. They can only give them weapons, but can they give them connect with the rest of the world in terms of their the goods which have to go out? Eventually,
Right.
the cheapest good is to come from India. They got manufactured, and thereafter they got sold all over the world. But suddenly, when you are the way the posturing you are doing in the region, I don't think the Chinese are going to buy expensive goods from them in case it is the way the situation is. So,
Interestingly, Bharat has not stopped the supply of staples to it. It's not stopped. It's not hurting Bangladesh the way it actually can in terms of food supplies and staple supplies, because Bangladesh really depends. And much as he would want to flaunt this entire art of triumph thing, where he talks about a greater Bangladesh, including Bharat's northeast, it's Bangladesh which is actually landlocked by Bharat, and we can really squeeze them if we really wanted to, and that's where somewhere Sheikh Hasina has thanked Bharat for its restraint, despite the utterances of some of these individuals. Interestingly, viewers, most of the people who are currently part of this interim government, including Mohammad Yunus, are not Bangladesh citizens. They all have foreign passports. They're all entities, individuals who've given up their Bangladesh citizenship, and they hold international passports, European, African, or even American passports. So that's what is the current situation. Saddam Hussein can bear me out on that. Meanwhile, just 2-3 aspects before we come back to our guest and question to you, Saddam, after this. The army, Waqaruz-Zaman, the Bangladesh army, what was their role? Were they acting on behalf of somebody else, or did they betray Sheikh Hasina? These are questions, and Sheikh Hasina said that by early August, the protests had begun over civil service quotas and morphed into violent unrest driven by radical agitators, turning the capital into a battlefield where the chain of command, public order, and the state's authority were under threat simultaneously. She did not directly attribute her exit to the Army Chief General Waqaruz-Zaman, emphasizing instead that the military was attempting to walk a tightrope in a collapsing environment. Whether or what kind of external pressure influenced decisions, I cannot say, she said, stressing that her criticism was not aimed at the army but at those who exploited the chaos. Then, speaking further, she said that and responding to this question on whether Beijing had advised restraint or given assurances during her final days in office, she said her government had always prioritized strong ties with China for both trade and security reasons. She, however, warned that the confidence was under threat while the current unelected administration led by Mohammad Yunus remained in power. She accused the interim government of pursuing volatile foreign and trade policies that could undermine Bangladesh's credibility as a regional partner. The other aspect, and the important one, is that Bangladesh has maintained good relationships with successive US administrations, and that there is no reason to believe Washington or other foreign powers were directly involved in the country's political developments. Now, Saddam Hussein, this is a contradiction to her white man comment. This is a contradiction to what her position was a few months ago.
Thank you. I think Sheikh Hasina mentioned her statement regarding the ongoing situation. She emphasized on the present movement and trying to achieve democracy in Bangladesh. So it's the political strategy of the party. By that, she can serve Bangladesh better. And I think the inner message is focusing on struggle, regaining strength in the street, and also I think the Bangladesh Army and other government bodies of Bangladesh should remove their support or withdraw their support from the government, because whether everyone wants democratic transition in Bangladesh, whoever may become in power must be decided by the people. But the current government is not capable, is not legally capable. The performance in the last 16 years do not give any hope to the people of Bangladesh that they will can have a credible election. So removal of the government is the main thing, and whether it is political parties, people, civil societies, everyone is, I think, believing this.
But the
day by
army
day.
has not said
And,
anything about Awami League being banned. The army has not said, the army, Waqar-uz-Zaman, after saying that, democratic processes are, on the down and things are not going as was promised, after that he's largely kept quiet. He's not said much. So which side is the army?
I think that the ongoing problem is mainly political, and Bangladesh Army, we hope that they will play a role, because they have a deadline of having election within 18 months. Also, this illegal government, they are not maintaining that. They are trying to have their so-called election in February, which is also, that the not with the matter of Bangladesh Army, not with the thinking of Bangladesh Army, and other things regarding Chittagong port and some other security matters, sovereign matters. Bangladesh, the current illegal government, they play a role. They're risking our sovereignty, they're risking our independence. So there is growing intention between army and government. This is a ongoing situation. So I think we are, with the passage of time, everyone will play a responsible role in democratic transition, and to have a inclusive, fair, and election which will maintain the international standard.
Ambassador Rajiv Dogra, her utterances, are they not in variance? What she's told us in the interview, in variance to what she had said about the white man wanted Saint Martin Islands, and that's why I'm being pushed out. Is she now trying to, tell the Trump administration you made the wrong choice, rectify your mistakes? What is it that she's telling the Chinese? Because Yunus just went to Beijing.
Well, I think, as I said earlier also, Sheikh Hasina has become wise by the experience of what happened to her government. So she does not want to upset her relations with America anymore. The island issue and so on is now past her. She is looking ahead, and she does not want America on the wrong side of her party or her prospects. But there are a couple of other things which I want to point out. That since her departure, Bangladesh's economy has gone on a downward slope. And this is happening when an economist, so-called economist, is in charge of the regime. The non-performing loans of the bank are 27%. Wow. Just by way of comparison, India's non-performing loans in the banks are just 2.5%. That is why Asian Development Bank, as I think last week only, said that the Bangladesh banking system is the most fragile in the region. So that's not a good commentary. The second is the intentions leading up to February. There were two issues that you flagged. One is the intention of the army. Second is the democratic part of the election, which are supposed to be held in February. I really doubt whether they will be democratic. Partly because along with the elections, there's also a referendum which is going to be held. And what is the referendum about? It's almost a copy of what Pakistan has done yesterday. There will be changes in constitution, there will be political changes and so on. So is Pakistan tutoring Bangladesh on how to conduct fair and free elections, and also how to change constitution to military's advantage? So signs are not very, very positive. Let's just hope the protest movement takes off, becomes effective, and is forceful enough to make the regime rethink or even give up. But I have my doubt.
You have your doubt. General Pandey, how are we allowing one Muniristan, the other one Yunistan? Are we going to allow this?
Yeah, but actually, unfortunately, India has never tried regime change and stuff like this. So we are not masters in practice. I'm sure Ambassador Saab will agree with me that we have neither overtly or covertly interfered with the internal politics of a country. And if we had done so, I am sure the region would have been much more safer and better for the country. May not be for the world and for the people, but frankly, it is not. But I just want to quickly highlight, I think there is a sense which is coming out to Sheikh Hasina ji, that with the performance of Yunus and the trouble which is brewing in terms of economic sense, internal security challenge which is coming up, I think the West is also very quickly understanding that to prop up this gentleman, there is going to be a future challenge. You may have a airstrip, or you may have a port, or you may have a linkage, but exactly like what is happening in Pakistan or Balochistan, you may have a place, but you may not be able to operate because the local situations don't allow you to manage it. Right. So this, I think the messaging which is there, while it is surely mature, but I think message is that if we come, we'll look at things differently. So that is why one positive message. Second is, how can she say anything against army? We all understand that there's a segment of army which was slightly extremist, has come about on Jamaat Islami backbone, and there are leadership which were wanting to have a coup in terms of take out the present chief, and all that thing was stopped. So I have a perception, I have a belief that the chief is tied in with somebody, and some segments are tied in with this thing. But can Sheikh Hasina, who knows that army is an institution by itself, so even if she knows the role what they have played to get her out, right, by creating a situation that she is taken out from there, eventually when she falls back, it is the army where she'll have to rely on, at least not to create trouble. So therefore, when you're dealing with a very important institution, it is very difficult to find fault or blame. So there is a very, it's a great political message to say that, okay, whatever has been done is done. I understand there were compulsions. West, things have been done. We are the same, but let not Bangladeshi people come to grief. Because eventually, in this entire turmoil, it is the Bangladeshis who are coming unto grief, and let us go. I am the only power center which will allow a progress and a positive environment to have and take control of the country. I think this is the message which has come about from the interview which he had with News18.
Well, you've wrapped it up beautifully, General Pandey, as always. Thank you very, very much. And Ambassador Rajiv Rohra, thank you very much. Please stay on with us because we're going to shift focus. Saddam Hussain, thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see how it happens. Elections anywhere should be free, fair, and everybody should be allowed to participate, especially in Bangladesh and the Awami League, which are like synonymous to each other.